Hour, we've got a special guest who's graced us before, and we have the pleasure to have him again, Ms. Baboolal.
Former National Security Minister Gary Griffith, and more importantly, he's here today in the context of one of the persons who was named in this email gate affair that has captured the nation's attention up to the point that we no longer, as we sit here in studio today, we don't have an integrity commission this morning. So, Mr. Bishop, Gary Griffith is all yours.
Well, he's all ours. He's got that smile on his face, which means he's ready for most everything. I think where I want to jump off on this is to understand what is the controversy right now. It is the Integrity Commission. It is the DPP office. It is the police. I want to sort of move into the area of the deputy DPP and what she's saying, in the sense that she's saying that the exoneration received is from Google. As we know, Google is Gmail, but in the case of Hotmail, that is falling under the Microsoft area. So she's saying there are many other areas still to come in. As such, no one should fall into the sphere of exoneration, but wait further. I have seen you repeatedly call for giving the police time to do their work. How do you come down on her statement on the castigation she has received as a result of that? The notion that she's out of a crease. Generally, what is your view on this?
Okay. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Again, it is a pleasure for me being here. This here has much ado about nothing. I think what happened, unfortunately, is that this matter has gone on for far too long. It should never even reach this position. I hate when it is that people try to look at us from overseas and see us as a banana republic, but there's situations like these that would give people those impressions. The fact of the matter is that anywhere else in the world, if someone gets documents that is anonymous, you do not know where it is, who it is from, you can't pinpoint it, and you take that, and that then becomes a massive police investigation with debates in every bar, every day in Parliament, every talk show, based on an anonymous letter from someone that just goes in a mailbox, and that becomes a matter for the police to investigate. What we have done is we have opened a Pandora's box that anyone, Sharmain Baboolal could get a document stating the worst things about Rennie Bishop, and that now means that Rennie Bishop's email must be checked. The police have to investigate him as if he's a suspect based on someone just being mischievous and put it. There was no one that reported the crime to the police. There was no matter for it to be investigated. This was never a criminal matter. This was a bogus document that went in. And because of that now, it means that anyone could do this and just be mischievous. We have to stop with the mailbox politics. Having said that, the Prime Minister, what she should have done really was to have that taken straight to the Parliamentary and Privileges Committee. And by taking it to the police, it is now there's no more just that for the police to verify the authenticity of the emails. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is not a private detective agency that is just assigned by the government to say, well, listen, we got this, I want you to verify if the emails are false or not. That is not the job of the police. They don't work for the government. They work for the state. They work for the citizens of this country. So the job of the police now is not just to verify the authenticity of the emails, which is why many people are saying why it took so long. And that is the unfortunate situation that we're hearing, because everyone is a crime fighter. The fact of the matter is, right now, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, they must investigate, one, if everything in the email is first thing is to verify the authenticity of the email. You can see, I mean, my 12-year-old son, everybody could see that those emails are false. It had me in 3 different countries in the world on the same day. I was in Australia, United Kingdom, I think somewhere in South America. And the reason I say that is because of the timeline that is in the emails. So the emails were false. That is a fact. What the police have to do now is not just to say, well, the emails are false, this matter is closed. You send it to the police to verify if a criminal matter took place. So what the police are doing now is to verify, one, who is the person who conspired to do this, because that person can be charged. Is it that there are members of government that tried to set up the Prime Minister? That is a serious matter. They have to investigate that. Is it that members of the government tried to set up Dr. Rowley? Is it that members of the opposition tried to set up Dr. Rowley? Was Dr. Rowley involved in this whole matter? Or was it just a case of a whistleblower who drafted documents in such a way so as not for him to be pinpointed, but he knew certain things that took place that was true, but he wanted it to get to the right hands, and he drafted it as emails. So even though the email itself may not be false, the content of it, so he used it as a conduit to get the message to the police.
That would be the 4 corners that the deputy DPP referred to, 4 corners of investigation, and I guess that would also include the conference room of the DPP having IR signals, infrared signals coming from it, and that was the report coming from the special branch. So again, these are issues that they have to investigate. And I just want to stay with that area because I saw you nod. Our listeners, unfortunately, on the radio will not see the nod. There is a divide line between Gmail and Hotmail. So if you get exoneration from Gmail, it does not mean you're exonerated from Hotmail.
Correct. That is correct. But going back to it, there's a delay now because you have to verify the Hotmail accounts of Minister Ramachan and myself.
And the captain.
I immediately submitted my devices to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, their cybercrime unit, they have very sophisticated equipment. Mm-hmm. They were able to go into my device and look for all emails in that period sent, deleted, archived, or received. Nothing was found. But the fact is, again, because of this country being so politically divided, had the police service made that statement, the first thing that you would have heard probably from the opposition is that, no, the police are doing that because they work for the government. So the police, they were left with their hands tied, so we have to go foreign as usual to show some sense of a neutral aspect in the investigation.
I raised the point about the infrared signals coming out of the DPP office because it is true that no matter who you have, a mutual sharing of security information within this case, the United States, there is a bar you must threshold before they will go through with your application. And the DPP is saying there was a bar met, hence the furtherance of the request by the United States government and the response from Google. And that is the area I really want to get clear from you. If you agree, according to the statements I've seen from you, that the police and the DPP should be given the time to complete the investigation before anyone opines, comments, or draw any conclusions.
Most definitely. What is happening now is there's a political timeline by both sides, and they're trying to rush the law enforcement agencies and the office of the DPP to try to get a decision made so they can use it as political brownie points on the platform prior to election.
This rushing is coming from both sides, you're saying?
Yeah, yes, and because of it now, you're trying to put pressure on independent institutions for your political purpose. And the Prime Minister was put in a corner. She obviously got some information. Again, this adds question as is the central authority. Was there a leak that passed information from the central authority to the office of the Prime Minister, which I mean, it means the central authority has now been affected. The Integrity Commission has been affected because of this. The DPP's office has been affected. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has been affected. These are independent institutions, and it is very sad, even the present Attorney General, to make a statement when he said that the deputy DPP should have written to him first. It means obviously the lad does not understand. Yeah, because the DPP may fall in the office of the Attorney General, it is an independent institution. It is similar to me making a statement to say, well, there's a matter going on, and the Commissioner of Police made a statement. Imagine me as a Minister of National Security put out a release and say, well, even though the Commissioner of Police falls under the Ministry of National Security, I say, the Commissioner of Police should not have sent that release until he spoke to me. I would have looked like a fool, and the Attorney General, unfortunately, did not realize what he has said. He feels that the DPP works him and she must report him. He totally dropped the ball there.
Totally misunderstood. There is also this question of making statements without being clear. I am troubled, and I don't know if you are, that when you castigate a DPP and tell them that, essentially they are incorrect in making a statement, one would have expected that one would have found out, first of all, if she has the right to make that statement.
Right, yeah.
And after she has made it, you cannot seek to chastise her, because in the court of public opinion, you're really compromising the office and any other investigative body. Is that reaching too far? Do you concur with that?
100%. And this is the unfortunate situation. The Prime Minister, it reminds, again, today's the IPL final. She continues to catch Dr. Rowley on the boundary. She's in deep way down on the ropes. She catches him, and then in celebration stands up on the rope, and instead of him being caught out, she gives him 6 runs. It happens all the time.
You guys are taking this crease thing really seriously.
but it is because of her stepping out of the crease. And all she needs to do is, it is very, very informative to see what I'm seeing on one of the newspapers today, that she just needs to stay clear of the controversy and just speak about what it is you have done in delivering to the country and what you intend to do.
Even the point you just made about the minister but the information being leaked. You're talking about a cybercrime bill that's before everyone right now, talking about information leaving a computer, handed to somebody else, and you hold them culpable for reproducing that information. Yet we have a situation here where you're reproducing information that was leaked.
Exactly, and that shows that is not democracy, that is hypocrisy.
Yes.
And I think it is very unfortunate. The Prime Minister and the government, they need to step back and let these independent institutions do their job. I mean, how often you can't continue to just fight. You're making enemies. You have attacked attacked the DPP's office. You've questioned the police service, telling them to get their act together. You've attacked the office of the PCA, demanding that he resign. You want the DPP to resign. The Integrity Commission now has been involved in a whole set of confusion because we rushed in there to celebrate, and then now you realize what has happened. I listened to Minister Munilal when he tried to compare the independent the Integrity Commission and saying that, well, regardless of whether people liked it or not, Mayweather has won the fight. Well, let me just take a quick point with that. And I agree. If it is that the three match judges all decided that Mayweather won the fight and the match official makes the announcement. However, if one of the judges say, well, wait a minute, this wasn't a unanimous decision, and he realizes that the match official made a statement without what was actually decided on by the match judges, then there becomes a problem. And that is where it is we need to step back and stop interfering with these institutions. It even goes internationally, Rennie, where even Moody's now we're attacking. We're saying that Moody's, they don't know what they're doing. We go to Panama in that summit conference and then condemn the United States, and people are not aware of this with foreign policy. Our job is not to speak about what our concerns are with policies of others. The United States put an executive order over Venezuela. Now, the Prime Minister then says that an executive order is followed by invasion in front of President Barack Obama. Now, this is a big slap in the face to the U.S., and she does not understand.
Not only that, it's quite inaccurate.
It is. That she does not understand the meaning of an executive order. An executive order was used to hold the fund, to freeze funds of 7 persons in Venezuela who were involved in major financial impropriety and money laundering. And that is what, somebody gave her bad advice. She wanted to impress President Maduro and Venezuela. But by doing that, you have affected us internationally with the U.S. Then even this mutual legislation agreement now, by doing this now, it has affected us again. We are pushing so hard for political mileage. It's affecting the image of our country internationally.
Let me take the analogy of cricket that we've been using. The ball was passed to me by the bowler, Sharmain, but it does not mean that I have more than one over. I already got 6 balls in, Sharmain.
I would like, the precedent has been set, and not necessarily a good one, that the head of state, who is also chairperson of the National Security Council, has had to hand over her, she said she handed over her phone, her devices, hand over her email account to the police, who would report to her as head of the National Security Council. What position does that put us in? I mean, this email gate, yes, all these institutions are affected, and all the politicking, and whether it's petty and definitely uncalled for, but at the end of the day, possibly sensitive information. I would not like the police to be going through my email, even though I know that it's not sacred. Whatever I have on a server, it's not sacred. But where does that put us? It
is a very uncomfortable situation. I mean, even with the Prime Minister, she was reluctant to submit her devices, not because she had something to hide, but I mean, there's sensitive information. There could be political information with her passing on information to the AG or vice versa, or myself, and that goes now to police officers. And there's always that question. Now we are concerned that suppose it is that a police officer may be political, and he takes that information, not the information of the email gate, because there was nothing that can be found in the emails. That is a fact. But what else could be found? And this has all happened. We have now given authorization for the central authority, for the police and everyone now to have access to your emails, and you don't know what it is that is there that is so sensitive that can affect you. And all because the Prime Minister made a bad decision by sending it to the police. This matter should have never gone to the police. And by doing that, we have opened a Pandora's box for all sort of different things happening. And then there would be, again, as you mentioned, that concern that the police will come under the National Security Council. But again, it shows my point. There's a difference here. Whereas just similar to the DPP office being under the Attorney General has no control. And that is where it is that the present Attorney General, he missed the boat by thinking that the DPP must report to him to submit any response, similar to the Commissioner of Police to the Minister of National Security. It is the right of the Commissioner of Police, if he sees anything, regardless of whether you're PNM, UNC, ABC, or XYZ, to do what is required.
Can I ask you how your email is jumping up in all of this, and you have not yet been exonerated because you're Hotmail?
Yes, that's right. Well, no one has been exonerated, and I just a quick point here: no one is a suspect in this matter, and that's why I think the Prime Minister's concern is she's trying to make herself seem as if she is a suspect. She's not a suspect. There are no suspects in this matter because no one has reported what Dr. Rowley has sent. It is what the police are doing now is investigating that and to verify who is a suspect. Kamala Prasad Bisesa has never been a suspect in Emailgate. You can't be a suspect unless someone reported a crime. And the crime it may not be Kamala Prasad Bisesa, but the person who submitted the emails, the person who drafted the emails, the fact that of a whistleblower that may have known the content of one person that really did something. So there are a number of different dimensions, but she gives this impression that she feels that, well, yeah, of course, PNM persons will say that they're fanatics, but she is not a suspect. There are no suspects in this matter. Dr. Rowley, in other words, is just as much a suspect as Kamala Prasad Bisesa.
But she's obviously taken it very personal.
Yes,
because she has gone to great lengths in Parliament to repeat herself.
And that is the problem, yeah.
And
She
explain.
protests too much.
Yeah.
And that is the point. You jump up and you wave for something. It could be a McDonald's receipt and say that, look, I have the document here from the U.S. State Department. Then you jump up to say that you're vindicated by the DPP. Then you attack the DPP. Then you jump and say you're vindicated by the Integrity Commission. And this will all be, there's no need to protest, Prime Minister. You are not a suspect. You have done nothing wrong. No one has accused you of anything. Dr. Rowley submitted a document that was unsigned, that was anonymous. The emails are false. What the police are doing now is to verify if there's any criminal activity that took place in that. It's not that fingers are being pointed at Kamala Prasad Bisesa in this investigation.
Have you been looking, paying attention to reaction online to anything that is said on either side? So it is deeply, deeply, deeply divided.
Yes.
That Emailgate, as far as some people are concerned, is actually an issue in the sense that the emails are not false. You are saying that this morning on the radio, and there is quite a large number of people out there who remain unconvinced because Dr. Rowley says it is the truth. She says that it is the truth. So therefore, we are terribly, deeply divided. We are going into an election.
But let me just quickly add to that. And it still remains for those who Sharmain articulated and correctly so believe that it is still a fact. Until you have a clear no trail from Hotmail, it is an issue. Is that not correct?
Yeah, well, and not just that. Even when the Hotmail will come out and it will show that there was nothing in those emails either, because this could have ended. You don't even need to wait on Hotmail because, say, for example, anything that was it was cleared from the emails of Kamala Prasad Bisesa and Anand Ramlogan, it means that they could not have written to Suraj Rambachan and myself because anything that they wrote to us would have been shown in there being accounts. Received and so there's no need for Hotmail, if you understand my point. Anything that was stated to be received by me from Anand Ramlogan, it would have been discovered in Anand Ramlogan's account if I sent to him or he sent to me. So it right there has shown that even that, it means that the emails are totally false. That
identified
so you
email
don't need to
addresses.
find all. So what the DPP has said, it may have a slight thing. It's not that you need to wait on our accounts to verify if this case is closed. That is not the case. This matter of the emails being authentic, that is a done deal. However, it does not mean that the investigation is going to be completed.
Respecting what you're saying, there are many that will disagree with that because, as you know, I can make a request for a specific email addresses, have a number of aliases, and if they are sticking by the law and I did not request any aliases attached to it, I can get an email verification, a track on an email, and not necessarily the aliases attached to it.
No, what the question, what was the request was all emails that from that account of Anand Ramlogan and Kamala Prasad Bisesa in the month of September. So what they looked at is every single email that was sent, that was received, that was deleted, that was archived. So it meant that anything that came into that account, and so it means that if they in that list of the 31 emails, it had Anand Ramlogan sending an email to me. It had me replying to Anand Ramlogan. And if that is the case, all you have to, if one account is shown is cleared, it means the other is. So it means there's no Hotmail to be. If his own shown that he never wrote to me, you don't need to check mine to see that if I ever received anything from him. So that is a fact. No one could debate that because that's how emails are. You cannot, for an email, there must be a sender and there must be a receiver. So if it is confirmed that he never sent anything to me, it means obviously you don't need to check my email to confirm that I didn't receive it. But the point being is that the police are not going to stop there. They are going to find out who caused this mischief. Is it that this was something to bring down the government, something to embarrass Dr. Rowley? Is it that these were just documents drafted with someone actually knowing that something did take place, but he did not want to be pinpointed?